So if you're currently a SaaS owner and you're scared of demo calls or you can't close your sales calls, this is the video for you. First off, I want to state what even is sales. So being good at sales is more so being good at human. And a lot of people are scared of sales in the SaaS space is because they see it like we're trying to convince the prospect to buy something. In reality, sales is more so to pinpoint the prospect's problems and seeing if we're even a good fit, if our software is even a good fit to solve their problem. There's no point in selling somebody if they don't realize their pain point and if your product doesn't even solve their problem. So, number one is how do we relate to the prospect and their pain points? Sales is transferring our certainty of how our product will solve their problem over to our prospect. We need them to be 100% bought in on our software and the outcomes that our software will provide for them. Then we close them to scale up their business, whether it's get more leads in the door, more appointments, more revenue, save time, save money, with the hierarchy of SaaS needs. Right? The more close that you could tie into the revenue generated for the business or time saved or money saved, the easier it is to close the sale. The first part of a SaaS demo call is the discovery phase. And I see a lot of SaaS owners, they come onto these demo calls. Number one, they ask about how the prospect's doing, what their day currently looks like, where are they calling from. That's building rapport, but I would limit that to maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes max at the start of the call. Then I see a lot of SaaS owners, they jump straight into a demo call and share their screen, show all the features that their SaaS has. This is the wrong way to take the approach of things. What you need to do is a prospecting phase, which I call the discovery phase. So 90% of the call is sold on this step alone. We need to talk about the past, present, and future. So the past is you'll get a general overview of their business, ask if any other decision makers needs to be on the call. And to dictate the past, we need to see what they've tried in the past, what softwares they've tried, what work streams they've tried manually, and why that hasn't worked, and why that hasn't automated this problem, and why that hasn't gotten them more revenue, why that hasn't saved them more time. After that, we need to dig into what they're currently doing nowadays in terms of automating X workflow. So to ask that question, it's very simple to just ask, what are you currently doing now to solve X workflow or to automate X workflow? And every single time we ask a question, it has to lead back to the sale. So if your SaaS has a desired outcome, for example, we'll automate browser automations, we'll automate all browsing for you, we need to tie that back into what the prospect will even use our software for. So if they're currently using a browser automation that the prospect hires a team to manage and they're doing it all manually, perhaps that we could sell them on how they won't even need that team. They could just use our software to automate all of that for them to solve that workflow problem. After that, we need to ask them about the future. So what is their desired outcome 6 to 12 months down the line? When you ask this question, really analyze what they're currently saying. If they say other software sucked, your goal is to find out why they think or why the other software sucked. And you need to get to the core reason, because whether it's features, whether it's the SaaS UI, UX was really bad, whether the SaaS was broken, this is where the sale is won or lost. Prospects, whenever they hop on these calls, they want to be understood, and they need to see you as a lighthouse in a foggy night at sea. So your best trait to have in these sales demo calls is to just be curious about your prospect's problems, where they're currently at, what they tried in the past, and how can our software get them to the desired solution. And only then should we hop into the sales pitch and share our screen and go through the SaaS features. So all the ammo is gathered in the discovery phase for our advantage. So if they mention a certain pain point in the entire demo, no matter how many features your SaaS has, we need to pinpoint that exact pain point in our demo. Anything else, let's say your software solves Y and Z, we need to focus on X because the prospect said X is the biggest pain point in their business right now. And every single time we mention this feature, we need to incorporate back into their goals that they discovered in the discovery phase. So a couple of things about that is, do you see how this feature can get you to that 10K per month mark by automating XYZ? or in order to automate the XYZ process so you don't have to hire that role, or in order to get to that 10 to 25 extra clients per month mark. So whatever the desired outcome that your prospect told you during the discovery phase in terms of 6 months, 12 months down the line, we need to keep reiterating that goal back to them during our sales demo call. So after talking about the process and talking about the features, we need to get a temperature check throughout the demo. So one thing that you can state in the demo call is, with everything I've discussed regarding our software, how do you feel from a scale from 1 to 10? And if it's not a 10, just be curious in the demo call and just ask why, right? You could bring it up very wittily and says, just curious on my end, what would bring that to a 10 for you? And if you don't address this, whenever you go to the closing portion and trying to get them to sign up for a paid subscription, this objection will come up, right? So if you don't address it early, it's going to come up in the closing segment. We need to handle all the pre-objections as much as possible in demo call. So whenever we actually go to the closing portion, the prospect is already 100% bought in. They have their credit cards ready. They want to sign on to your SaaS. So in terms of the closing portion, after we pitch the price, we tell them everything this will cover and how it will help them get to XYZ results. We just shut up after that, right? Because the prospect, whoever talks first in the closing portion loses. So the prospect might go silent for 30 seconds, and after that, they might just say, okay, let's do it, right? They pull out their credit card, you send the payment link, and they pay it. So after that, most of the time, if they're really bought in, discovery phase was really good, features was really good, tying back to their goals, we really don't have to handle any objections, right? Because the prospect already knows what they want. They see how your software gets there. They have that trust in you. They have that belief in you, in that product that can get them to XYZ goal. However, if you do deal with objections, we need to find out the core reason behind the objections. So a couple objections that you probably will hear is, I need to think about it. I need to talk to my spouse, business partner, send me some information to my email, and I'll be back in touch next week. And all objections come down to either fear, trust, or logistics. And whenever these objections come up, most of the time, I would say it is a trust objection, or they don't see how the software can get to that XYZ goal. So that means something during the discovery phase or during the features phase, we screwed up somewhere. So we need to get to the core reason of why they're currently holding back on getting started today. Sometimes 10% of the time, 20% of the time, it is a logistics thing, and they need to talk to their boss about getting this thing up and running, especially if it's an enterprise deal. But most of the time, if it's a sole proprietor, a person running their own business, they're having some trust objection. So all these objections are smokescreens, so we really need to get to the core reason of why they want to wait off on it. And one thing to handle in the objection phase, if they say they need to think about it, one thing you can mention is, yeah, absolutely, that's not a problem on our end. Just so I know more information on my end, what exactly about the features do you need to really think about, right? And obviously don't break rapport, don't try to hard sell them on it. Just be curious and just ask them what about the features won't get them to XYZ goal. And only after that, if they say they just need more time, we need to break it down to, is it a pricing thing? Is it a SaaS product thing, features thing? Or is it just a timing thing, right? Because timing, right now it's December, mid-December. Maybe they want to get started in the new year. That could definitely be a logistics thing, but most of the time it might be a pricing thing. If you're a B2B SaaS, that's kind of higher price than your competitors. And most of the time they might bring up their competitors as well. Like, this competitor does this, what differentiates yourself, right? You can only find that out in the objection handling phase. And also the prospecting phase, we need to see what they tried in the past in terms of competitors and differentiate ourselves in the features in the demo call. So I hope this video helps, and I hope this helps you close more SaaS deals. If you're interested in working with scaled acquisition, you can book a call down below where we'll set up your entire funnel in terms of the marketing side. We'll set up all your products and pricing, and we'll also be coaching you through these sales calls where we do weekly call reviews on how you can close more prospects, right? And if you're currently below 10K per month, I also have a free school community down in the description. You can go ahead and join. We'll give some free resources. We'll break down some funnels. We'll help you get to that 10K per month mark, so one day we can partner with you with scaled acquisition. And I hope this video helps. Leave a comment, leave a like if you want to see more of this, and I'll catch you in the next video.